Man opens safe buried in backyard. Then, the cops knock on his door. For years, the rusty old safe lay hidden under a spread of ivy and trees in their backyard. Emmanuel was living with his wife and son in a beautiful and cozy house in Staten Island for almost half a decade. After all these years, Matthew was sure that he knew every nook and cranny on his property. But of course, he didn't know everything. Apparently, his property was hiding a well-kept secret. There was a rusty old box that sat in their backyard. The family thought little of it. When Matthew first saw it, he thought it was just an old electricity box. The family didn't even think of opening it. They just weren't interested. For years, the box just sat there, collecting more rust and dust. But it was about to unveil something unexpected soon. Emmanuel is a financial advisor for a reputed company. His family moved to their house in the Tot Hill neighborhood around 2013. Whenever they stood on the deck and the couch of their family room, they could see the odd metal box perched on the edge of the property. But one winter, a devastating storm wreaked havoc in the town. It was one of the most severe snowstorms to ever hit Staten Island in decades. Many residents were unprepared for the damage it brought forth. The backyard of Matthew's house was ruined. Many trees fell and damaged a large part of the decorations too. Thankfully, the family remained safe through it all. After the storm, several hungry deer entered the property in search of food during spring. The deer ravaged their arbor vitae trees and other vegetation. The entire look of their garden was affected. That's when Matthew sought the help of a horticulturist. He called a horticulturist who specialized in exotic plants to help them plant bamboo on the side of the yard. This way, the family would get more privacy from the intruders. The renovation also meant finally dealing with the mysterious old box. Yes, the storm had uprooted the box, and it was no more obscure. Whatever followed eventually led to the police stepping in. The family didn't want many renovations to be done. As it was an old house, they wanted to maintain its vintage charm. When they bought the house, the box was already sitting there for years. The ivy and shrubbery around it made it even more difficult to explore the box. So, in came Bamboo Bob, the horticulturist and landscaper. He is known for his renovation work in backyards, zoos, and gardens in the New York and New Jersey areas. When Bamboo Bob and his team took a look at the backyard, the box immediately caught their attention. The team then carefully unearthed the box and brought it up on the ground. They turned it over and finally realized what it was. When turned over, they could see a dial on the box. It was no ordinary box, it was a safe. And as it was a safe, it was surely hiding something mysterious and exciting. The safe weighed around 100 pounds now. Matthew was wondering how he never even bothered once to check the box. In fact, he had been throwing mulch on it. He now couldn't wait to see what was inside. They hoisted the safe up to the deck for further inspection. And then came the moment of truth. This old safe contained real-life treasure. First, they could see stacks of bills, about 3 inches thick and all wet and stuck together. Then, there were small pouches and bags strewn all inside the box. They contained gold, diamond rings, earrings, gemstones, and other precious jewelry. Everyone was simply speechless. Over the next few days, Matthew tried to salvage whatever he could of the treasure. He peeled apart the notes, dried them out, and began counting them. They added up to $16,300 in cash. Then he discovered an address inside the safe. After doing a quick online search, he linked the address to his old neighbors. He figured out that the neighbors had to do something with this safe. The next day, he knocked on their door. "I have a strange question for you." Matthew didn't know how to put it. "Have you ever been robbed?" he asked them. Astonished, the couple nodded. It turned out that they had been robbed in 2011, when the notorious ninja burglar was roaming the neighborhood. Matthew then informed them about the strange box with the dial and called them home. When the couple saw the safe and its contents, they were stunned. Apparently, they had called the cops and informed them about the burglary in 2011. In 2016, the ninja burglar was eventually caught. But in all these years, the stolen stuff had never been found. After this surprising turn of events, Matthew received hundreds of calls from reporters. They only had one question for him: why did he return the money and jewels? Initially, I had all intentions of keeping it, Matthew said. But when I found out whose it was, I knew it belonged to someone else. I couldn't walk past their house and live with myself knowing that I had their stuff. He simply stated.